Good morning, it's Charlene, one half of the Flights of Fancy Stitchers. Today is November 3rd and it's, it looks like it's about 10 till 10 on Monday. And my hair is already doing the goofy thing, so you guys get goofy hair and stitching today. I am coming back with my weekly video. I had told you guys that I might just start doing videos on Tuesday, and I got a phone call like, I think it was either the day after or 2 days after I filmed last, and oh, guess what? You have not one, you have 2 appointments on Tuesday. So Tuesday was not going to happen for filming, so here I am. I could really use some good juju because the ladies watching will understand. I get to go get my yearly, booby fill up, which I've had a couple tests in the past that have brought me great concern, so any good juju would be sincerely appreciated. And I'm also seeing my doctor to see what we're going to do about my knee. I finally conceded and had x-rays done on Friday, and it was not good. So all the good juju you can spare, I would sincerely appreciate it. So let's get to what you're here for. First off, I will show you my ornament. My nose is itching on top of my nose today. I don't know what that's about, but who knows. So I didn't grab the Jelly World. I have an ornament specifically for that project. I haven't worked on it for a while, so no sense in showing you it. Same thing as it was. But this is where I'm at with mine, and I have all the little Lego pieces that Dalton accumulates for me. I have the teddy bear and some cherries and a whisk and a flower, and I love them. They make me so happy. Besides the fact I like the little tink tink. It's kind of like the bell, but not. Anyway. My stitches so far. So I finished October off at 9,916 stitches. And so far for November, I have 694. For the year, as of last night, I am at 114,454 stitches. And I looked back on last year's totals, and I'm not quite 4,000 stitches. No, not quite 5,000. It was like 4,800 and change, I think, from ahead of where I was this time last year. So I don't feel like I've been doing that much, but obviously the numbers are saying that I have. So that makes me happy. All right, so what I'm going to show you, I'm going to discuss my plans, kind of. My plans are going to be drastically changed for next year because of some things that have transpired this last week. I kind of hinted at a little bit of it already. So I'm going to kind of take a different trajectory. Same path, same town, maybe I'm going to go on an avenue instead of a street this time. Yes, I'm talking to the peoples. Snoopy says hi. All right, so first up, I forgot my other notebook, but I can remember. So like I told you guys, Saturday was the anniversary date for when I started Emerald, and Saturday was a really, really busy day. Excuse me, it was a Sam's Club run and just first of the month groceries and things like that. So I didn't get as much done as I had hoped, but I was able to touch the 2 projects that I wanted to. So Emerald is by Carolyn Manning, and I think I put 66, 69, 60 something stitches. So here's the whole piece. And I worked, let's see if I can remember where I worked. I worked somewhere in here, filling in, because I only worked 2 colors. So not a lot, not enough to say that I made a difference. But I did touch it this year, so that's a good thing. And then the other one that I had told you guys about in the last video that I was going to start doing was my Nora in November. And I didn't do great on the first. I think I did, I want to say 81 on the first. I'm talking about this project here. But yesterday I did 190, I believe. So there's a little bit of explaining to do on this. So you can see that I made some good progress, obviously. Most of it is beadwork. Got some backstitch done. Like I told you guys, I wanted to come up to the top so I could basically work my way down, which I did. I got up here to the top, obviously doing my stitching before I did my beadwork. This beadwork that's done, obviously that stitching and backstitch around it is completed. But I figured something out. So I ordered all of the stuff to stitch this during COVID. And we all know what a cluster that was. And one of the beads that I needed, which you can see, so see kind of like the shiny red ones right there, pink, red, pink ones right there. And there's some more all around that right there. Okay, I could not find those when I ordered this and kitted it up. Like, I could not find this anywhere. And they're a Magnifica Mill Hill. So I reached out to a company and I said, you know, this is what I'm looking for. Do you have something similar? And they reached back and they said, yeah, we've got this. I said, okay, send it to me. Well, they sent me this sweet little jar. And they're really cute and they're really sweet, right? So yesterday I'm sitting down and I don't know exactly. I know for sure all the way around this is that color or that bead. But like these little places that they look like little crosses, well, around the outside of them and like around the outside of that red one right there is supposed to be these beads. And I was looking at them when I was, you know, because I call it fish and twine. It's basically just clear filament because I don't like to be able to see this, my thread with my beads. I want it to look like it's, for lack of a better word, they're floating on my project. That's me. I'm just weird that way. So I'm like, okay, well, that looks awful similar. And so I put the two of them together. And seeing it's not on camera though, it doesn't look too bad. The bead itself, not the ones that I bought, I don't even know if you can see it, the color, it's kind of a, I don't know, like a burnt red maybe, and obviously these are very pink. I would love your thoughts. It's $8 to order the Magnifica beads. I don't need that a tremendous amount. Should I, do you guys feel like that this is close enough? If you look up Magnifica, it's 10032. Do you guys think that this is close enough to match what I need? I showed it to Preston and he felt like these were a little bit darker, and maybe that's why there's not a tremendous contrast on here. But on the same regard, Aries are, because that's what she is, and Aries is the fire and the deep reds and the purples and the oranges and the whatnot to represent, you know, fire for the sign. I would love some feedback. I would love people's thoughts. I hate to spend the money, but I also don't want it to not match properly. And I don't know. I'm really driving the bus with it. I'm really, anyway, give me your thoughts, because I want to keep going, you know, and do the beadwork as I do the stitching. So again, I can get up here to the top and then just work my way down. And then of course, save the skin for last. So yeah, tell me what you guys think, because I'm really enjoying working on her, especially now that I can see. I am struggling a little bit with the I call it fish and twine, with the filament stuff. But that's because it's my choice, because I don't like the beads the thread to show. And there isn't a nicer one out there. It's just the way it is. So again, tell me what you guys' thoughts are. Excuse me. And what you think I ought to do. All right, next up, I guess I ought to put it all back together, or I'll miss half of it. Are you gonna come say hi to the people, Luna? He's thinking about it. I'll come up here and bump the computer. Oh, there you are. Okay. Well, come here and you can say hi. Oh, goodness. Oh, yes. You want to say hi to the peoples? Yes, the peoples like to see the kitties and the puppies. They say, oh, we love all the animals. Yes, they do. You say hi with those pretty Cobra Kai eyes. He's watching his dog. Dog, save me. Okay, down you go. Yes, I put him down, Snoopy. Okay, next up, I think I actually worked on this one after I did my video. I think. I can't remember. Pretty sure I did. Anyway, I'm talking about Scary Witches. And I did, is this it? Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I think I worked on her face. Of course, I didn't grab that book. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I worked on her face. So I worked some more in over here. So that got touched 3 days this year, which I have it on, and I was going to show you guys my list because I think I forgot it last time. Project bag that I made. I have it on my list for, you know, the wheel for finishes this year. So hopefully it will come back out again this year. If not, it will come back out again sometime next year. We'll just have to see. All right, next up, I gotta get a picture of this one. This is my wave star that I'm using for my NBA games. And I worked on this, I think, twice since I saw you guys. 1, 2. Yeah, I worked on it twice. This week it will get, see, I won't come back to you now until the 10th. It should get 1, 2, 3, it should get 4 days. So yeah, I should be able to make some really noticeable progress next time. Let's hope. Let's hope, let's hope. All right, so this is the picture. This is by Awesome Pattern Studio on Etsy. My phone doesn't like to show it. Guess I'm going to just have to print out a picture of it. So I think, I'm trying to remember, well, let's look at the book. So I did 107 on this yesterday, and I did 122 on it for the previous game. And it does have white thread on it because that's where I stopped at with my white. So I know I worked up here, and I know I worked in the white, and I worked on quite a bit down here. I think I brought another color up here, but I'm not positive. But Mount Fuji is done. That's kind of cool. So, but I picked up this white because I'm trying to inline, you know, kind of work my way across, making sure that all the spots are filled in. I have 2 or 3 little holes down, like way down here, and then I have a couple holes up here that I need to fill in before I can finish coming across. So, but I'm enjoying it. It goes fast. It's just on a piece of 14 count white Aida, nothing fancy. And I decided that when I framed this, because this is going to be for Dalton, I'm going to have the mat cut to, snug up against the round, and then of course put it in a square frame. Maybe something wooden, like maybe a bamboo effect or some such. I guess I don't need a needle in my hand, do I? That's kind of my plan. Preston and I talked about it this weekend. We both thought that would look really cool. So, all right. Next up I worked on was September. And I have been working on this off and on since my last video. Not a lot of great progress, but I mean, progress is progress, right? There is a thread on this because I just stopped where I was working last night. I think I had 80 some stitches in it last night. I was working on this when we were watching the Kansas City and Buffalo game, which I absolutely love the Buffalo one, but that's my opinion because I'm a Broncos fan. And I have a lot more respect for Josh Allen than I do for Patrick Mahomes. So this is where I'm at. I don't remember where I was at last time I showed it to you. So over here you can see where I ripped it out. I had a flower in here, so I had done this subtle flower here and I had done that red. And I was looking at it, I was like, that looks weird. That doesn't look right. And so then I really got to looking. I was a line off. So I had to frog all of that out, which made me very unhappy. So to fix the problem, so I wouldn't do it again, I went ahead and counted down like 1,900 times and brought this brown border across the bottom so I could have two things to count off of, the house and the border, basically up and down, so I don't screw up again. So I still have a little bit left on here. I need to bring the rest of my grass over, and I think that's what I might do when I pick this back up, is because I have the house done, so I can build the grass off of the house, and then I know that I'm building the edge of this off with the proper count. So, and by finishing off that green, it will let me get in what little bit of green I can down here and then work some more in September. So I'm making progress little at a time. It's not going to be done tomorrow or maybe next week. I'm not going to hold my breath. I'm actually giving Nora quite a bit of love, so, or Aries, whatever you want to call it. I did not touch my seahorse this week. This week was kind of crazy. This past week, I should say. There was a lot of stuff that transpired this week, and nothing bad, just a lot. So, all right. I forgot. I also worked on my pretty pumpkins. I ended up getting, did I get 3 days on these guys? For some reason, I think I only got 2 days on these. In fact, I know I did. I only got 2 days on this one because I did not do any stitching. Cats. On Halloween. Preston got his tickets to go see Back to the Future, which I never got to see that at the movie theater when I was a kid. So that was a lot of fun. We went and saw that, and then he took me out for dinner. We very seldom, we just don't, because, we were always so busy with the kids, we never made time for date night. And, now that the kids are gone and it's just us, and it's like, okay, so it was pretty cool. We had a good day. So this is where I got to. I'm happy with my progress. I made a ton of progress in these flowers coming up. Brought this down, and I lied to you guys. I thought that I was missing the bottom half of this. No, I have my working copy of this. It's, let's see, this side. Like I've only got about half of this pumpkin right here. So I think the working copy, let's see, is that right? No, it's this side, yeah. I think my working copy ends about right here. which is fine because I can take that back in and get it blown up or copied or whatever, probably blown up so it'll be the same size, so I can, you know, tape my patterns together so I'm exactly right when I start working over here. But yeah, I'm really happy. And then I brought it all the way to the top. So this is the top of the pattern. So I'm going to have more than enough room for framing and all that good stuff. I almost wish now that I would have dyed this like a real pale orange, like almost a white pale orange, because I think that would have been really pretty. But you know, hindsight's always 20/20. So this one probably won't come back out for a while. It got some love for the year. Oh, and something I forgot to, and I didn't grab it either, shoot. So, you know, I told you last week about my planner, and I was like, oh, I really hope I can find one. And I told my family, you know, I want another one of these for Christmas. Guess what? So we went into Barnes & Noble looking for some other stuff. And we're walking around. Of course, I'm like, okay, I need to get a new journal for 24 because for 26, because I had went to Hobby Lobby and all they have is the combination of the 25, 26 journals. And I do not like those. And I'm like, and they're Agenda 52s, which are my favorite. But I'm hoping, because I mean, it's only 1st of November. I'm hoping between now and the end of the year, they'll, you know, bring in just their 26s. Anyway, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to look around and see what these guys have for journal. And I walked around the corner and they had the exact same journal that I have for this year, except it's for 26. Obviously, it's different. It's got different, you know, pages and whatnot, but same designer, same bookmaker, like same everything. It's my journal. I was so excited. And Preston's like, buy it now, because if you don't, you're not going to find another one. I was like, yes. So I have my stitching journal for next year, which made me very happy. All right, last project I worked on was my mandala rooster, and this is for my Denver Broncos. Appropriate bag, I think. They played yesterday. They played the Texans, and I've decided that the Denver Broncos are in cahoots with the medical industry because they leave their fans on the edge of their seat just waiting to have heart attacks, because they're like they've turned, what did they say yesterday? And the analysts were, they're the best fourth quarter team in the NFL right now, which, no, us fans, no, our old pacemakers can't handle this. Stop. Anyway, we won, barely. And then we play again on Thursday. We play the Raiders, which, and I kind of look at the Raiders as almost a trap game because they're like last in the AFC West, which, if you guys are football fans of any kind, you know where I'm coming from. Like I've said numerous times, football and basketball. I love baseball too, but I'm not as avid with it as I am with the other two. And hockey, I like hockey too. But anyway, I just hope that we don't let this be a trap game. It's a short week, so maybe we'll get lucky and we'll get lots of stitching. I did the math. We have 8 games in regular season left. I need to do 207 stitches every game to finish this in regular season, which would equivalent to, yes, I think that's the word. Words are difficult today. Basically 21 points a game is what I need, which is not unrealistic unless you play like we did yesterday. But yesterday we had 18 points, so it was 180 stitches in my rooster. I was very happy because I was able to finish what I talked about last time. So, and yes, there's a thread for where I'll pick up at. So I finished all of his back up here. I filled in this part of his tail. Let's see, where else did I work? I filled in all of this here except that's basically where I stopped, was that pink. It was right here. When I get that little bit done, that round part of his tail will be completely done. And then I think, because Preston made a good suggestion last week, all of this is done, his body and everything. Now we're just focusing on the tail. So start at the bottom and work my way back up. Which this thread, so this blue comes up and then it kind of dog legs, and this pink is in between the white and the blue, I believe. So by having this one on here for Thursday's game, then I can just bring this pink on down and then just, come stitch down here, and then pick up the blue and start working my way like this if the thread allows it. So I was really hoping to get some color finishes. I was like, oh, there's only like 20, 24, something like that. But all those color finishes are up here in the top part of his tail. So it will get done when it gets done. But when he comes back to you next week, like I said, I will stitch on him on Thursday. And then our bye week is the 23rd. So he'll get, how many more days will he get? He'll get 1, 2, he'll get 3 more days this month. Is that right? Yeah, because of the 30th. So he'll get hopefully about 600 more stitches, which would be, 20 points a game, so to speak. So we'll see what happens. Let's hope for another game like we had last week. What was it, 44 points? So 440 stitches. Yeah, that Dallas game was good. But yesterday was just, you looked at the stats and the Texans numbers and our numbers are almost exactly equal. They, first offense, first defense, or first defense, third offense, or maybe it was first defense, third offense. I can't remember which way it went, but the numbers were literally like right there. And so you can understand why it was such a close game. But yeah, there was a few things that I was really disappointed in. But it's football. What do you do? Just sit on the edge of your seat and keep stitching. Preston said it was my fault that we didn't do very well because, so we scored, a field goal, and I'm like, I'm not going to get this out for 30 stitches, and I was still working on my Nora, and so I finally got done with her and got in my stitches for the day, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll go ahead and I'll, put in those 30, and then we got a touchdown, and Preston's like, see, that's the problem. You need to bring it out like as soon as we score, so that's like the incentive to keep scoring. So apparently it's my fault that we were the fourth quarter cardiac kid people. I'll take the blame. It's okay. It's all good. All right, for my plans moving forward, obviously still working on the rooster. September I will work on it as begrudgingly as I can because I'm the one that made the list. It's my fault. I'll keep working on the wave for basketball. I'm liking how that's going, and I finally got to watch part of this last game. I got to watch like the last, I don't know, basically quarter, enough to watch them stink it up and lose to the Trailblazers, which was ridiculous, but anyway, it is what it is. But it's kind of hard for me to work on it when I'm watching basketball. Preston's not a big basketball fan, so usually I just end up pulling up the scores or, like that. There wasn't anything else on TV, and so we ended up, I guess we watched the end of that after we had gotten home from the movies because the end of it was still on. I guess that's what it was because they were in Portland. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. I've slept since then. Anyway, and then I will continue working on my Aries, which I would love to make more progress on her. Like I said last week, if I could do 3,000 stitches, which is basically 100 stitches a day for November, it's not going to get done by any means, but I can make that dent on it. And if I decide not to order those beads, if I decide to order those beads, I think what I'm going to do is since I've got myself worked up to the top now and I've got, you know, something to build off of for that back stitch, I could, in theory, just focus on the stitching and then come back and focus on the beads after the fact, if that's what I decide to end up what I decide to end up doing. I don't know. I'm still on the fence. I'm still thinking about it. But I would love you guys' input. I know that a lot of people that watch my videos, our videos, I know that a lot of you guys have done Nora's and or Mirabilia's, and so you have thoughts on doing that. You know, it's one thing to substitute, you know, different beads for one or two things, or, you know, spots or whatever, but that's one of the things that attract me to the Nora's and the Mirabilia's is the way that the beads accentuate the project and the whole thing. So I know you guys get it. I know I'm not preaching to the choir. I just would love somebody else's brain and thought process on this too, and see what you think. So I have went on for 31 minutes and it's been mostly about Nora. Go figure. And basketball and football. Yeah, I've vented a lot about football. Excuse me. I don't think I have anything other than that. Like I said, next week I will definitely come on Monday because Tuesday is a federal holiday here in the United States. It's Veterans Day, and Preston does have that day off. So he'll be home. So I'll just go ahead and film on Monday. I was supposed to have my mammogram next week, but they short-staffed for the holiday, so they changed it to tomorrow. So that's nice. So if it doesn't storm or nothing, so he does have to go in, maybe we'll go out and have some lunch or something. Just enjoy the day off. Dogs are doing good. Snoopy's appointment went really, really well on Friday. They did change up her thyroid medication. The vet said that it was too high now. So we're going to bump it back and we're going to try a new one, and then we'll do blood work the first part of December. She's really happy with the weight. She's lost 13 pounds since the 1st of October, which I thought was a lot for a dog, but she said no. That she's very happy with the weight, that she wants to see her more. She wants to see her get between 35 and 40, which is where she sat forever. And then she wants to see Jinx. Jinx is down 4, and she wants to see Jinx get down to, what did she say? Between 50 and 55, which is where because she said at 45 forever. So, and Snoopy said at 35 for forever. So they're not unrealistic weights. They're very healthy, but they still, you know, they're getting their nutrition and whatnot. So we'll go back in the 1st of December and see how they're doing. And then, like I said, they'll redo her blood work. They redid her red blood cell count, Snoopy's red blood cell count, because that was one of the issues that they were concerned about with the cancer, and it came back. It's perfect. So right now our focus is getting her on track with the thyroid, and then, you know, keeping up with the weight management. I am on day 3 of my cancer walkies, and I've achieved over my mile goal every day so far. We walked not really early this morning. Hey, buddy. God, people haven't seen you forever. For you guys that remember him, this is Pearl. This is Poe's brother. This is our big Maine Coon Siamese boy. And he is a big boy. Oh my goodness, and he's so heavy. He's so heavy. He's such a big boy. You want to sit here and talk to the peoples with me? Okay. So anyway, we picked up new cat food for these guys too, because all of them are considered seniors now. So the kittens turned 6 on Halloween, and Halloween was our gotcha date for Pearl and his sister in 13. So Halloween's kind of animal social. Please don't knock that down, Luna. Such a brat. So yeah, now that they're official senior cats, and so she recommended that we put them on more of a senior health management. It's not veterinary prescribed, but just different management to make sure that they don't have any weight issues as well, because they all four are indoor cats. We don't let them outside at all because people are mean and cruel to cats, and yeah. So I have no bail money for somebody who would hurt my animals, so I would rather spend it on dog food and cat food, and you get the point. Anyway, I think that's about all of the news otherwise. Morgan is still hoping to get a video done. She's busy as always. But everything is all good. Don't think, I'm trying to see. Oh, we did get some patterns with the Heaven and Earth sale. A couple dragon patterns, and then she bought me the mini war pony because I don't have that much of it started, which you guys saw in the whip parade. I don't have that much started on it, and now that I can do the smaller count without issues with my eyes, I am going to put this one to the side and start. One of my viewers suggested 25-28 count 1/1. Again, that dainty stitch, I can see it works out well, but then I don't have these ginormous pictures on my walls because I frame, or I utilize everything that I sew. I don't have a the box under the bed, as I hear some people say. I try to put everything up that I make. Again, that's my preference. That's why I make this stuff. It's because I want it on my walls. So I'm not sure when I'm going to restart War Pony. Probably not till next year. We'll see. I've got a couple other projects that I want to think about starting. I've had it for quite a while now, but I picked up the Peacock, the Unicorn, and the Badger. I want to get it started. And where I'm going with my plans is that my 26 and 26 is probably not going to be to what I wanted it to. I want to do my 26 samplers, like really, really bad. But there's also a lot of other things that maybe instead of a sampler per se, like the Unicorn and the Badger, or there's a couple smaller heights that I would like to start. I saw that they released the patterns for the 26 Haid Stitch Along. And there's two that I'm really on the fence about. There's a dragonfly and there's an owl. I really like both of them. I don't know, we'll see. I'm still on the fence. I've got a month to decide, so it'll get there. Luna's sitting here on the edge of the table. His brother's still sitting here on my lap. And now he's gonna flop down and hit the computer. Such a brat. And now I got hair in my mouth. Animals, I'm telling you. I think that's about it. Yeah, we're all good. So I think, I'm still going to keep track because I want to have finishes. I want to finish some stuff. But I also have, quite a few things out there that I would really, cats. You want to say bye before you jump down? All right. Say bye, humans. Say bye, humans. He's so soft. He's like a giant stuffy. Anyway, there's a lot of things that I want to start, but I also want to finish a lot of things too. So anyway, we'll see. On that, I'm going to close. I've went on long enough. I hope you guys have a fabulous week. Be safe out there. Enjoy all the things that you're stitching on, and hopefully, unless something unforeseen happens, I will see you guys on the 10th. Have a great day. Bye.